Uh-oh, I dropped our notes. Guess what? Ah!
We are live on
On
YouTube.
YouTube. High
All right. We did it. We did it.
Man, we did it.
So you're going to have to scooch in a little bit.
I got to scooch in.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I scooch in. I can't.
Rotate your chair a little bit.
Oh, my pink blanket is showing.
Okay.
Let's take that out of there. Hello, audience of us.
You got to get closer. Get a little closer. Don't be shy.
Arid extra dry.
Get a little closer.
Oh my goodness.
With arid extra dry. Y'all remember that, huh?
It's a secret.
All right. Well, welcome to Kisses N Crumbs live.
Yes, on YouTube. So
All right.
hopefully all of our friends and community from the other platform that we have previously used will show up at some point. But if not, we are here.
Yes.
And we are live. And we are excited because we are going to talk about something super exciting today.
Yes.
And that is...
Is this episode 8 or 9?
It is 9. So
episode 9. Oh, wow. We are moving right along there.
So 2 months and a week we're in. And wow, what a journey so far.
Yes, it has been a great journey. And episode 9 is full of just a wonderful exchange of information, exchange of synergy, just understanding around what makes up their marriage. And we're talking about Alicia N Renardo, and looking at their discussion just from a general standpoint. The way that it started was romantic.
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you how your week was.
Oh, okay. All right. My week was good. It was challenging.
Was it crummy?
Was it crummy? Well, now it's not crummy. It's kissy now. But earlier on, it was crummy.
Okay.
And so I think that it was a week of growth.
Mm.
It was a week of growth.
Okay. We'll take that.
Mm-hmm. How was your week?
Oh, man. I would say, let's see, since the last time, it has been full of growth, lots of homework. We have for y'all that, for you all that don't know, we still have a middle schooler.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I just feel like I'm going through that again. And you just keep wanting me to get closer.
Yes, I do.
And so I feel like we've been doing a lot of homework and learning about a lot of things. And here we are again. So
a lot of logistical work around the house and things like that. For me, it's fixing stuff, getting stuff in order, and for you, it's helping Langston with his homework, and I'm helping him too with some of the math and
with the math. I'm not going to take credit or anything like that. And we also, spring is about to spring, and so
and it was also a week of emotional growth for us. There's kisses and crumbs in every relationship, so we had kind of a crummy kind of exchange, I guess you would call it. We worked out some challenges that we were having around our communication and making sure that when we communicate to each other, we communicate in a kind way, in a way that is uplifting and supporting, that we partner on difficult challenges instead of kind of dropping it on the other person and challenging them and just leaving them without any support. So that's really something I think that was a learning point for me, is to come together to help them if they need to change, instead of just saying, okay, well, you need to change. You need to get your stuff together, and then just leaving them alone to fend for themselves. That's not a very kind and supportive way to handle change. And so that's one of the lessons that I had. Did you have any lessons from today's or this week's?
It's so interesting because in the episode they do talk about communication and really, um, so Alicia talked about um, conflict will come up, but it's how you communicate through it. How effective you are at communicating, and I think that I am more of a type of person that. When conflict comes, I'm not necessarily running from it, but it takes me a minute to get my thoughts together so that I can communicate clearly how I may be feeling. And I don't think that I did that the best. It took me a little bit of time to really communicate how I was feeling. And so but once we kind of talked about it, then I think that it definitely worked itself. We worked through it.
Mhm.
So it didn't. We did. We worked through it. So that was really.
Feel like a Baptist pastor.
What you sweating about?
I don't know. I just had to wipe my.
You got it.
Lord said.
Don't do that. All right. But once we did that, then it was kisses and no crumbs.
So what did you learn that you need to kind of take a moment and gather your thoughts?
I feel like I should have done it quicker. I should have had a faster response, because then that would have cleared up the feelings of the negative emotional feelings. And so, I mean, it's so interesting because we've been at this a long time. We're not new to this,
Right.
but it's like those same, crumbs that we've seen before with like the negative emotions. That's what I mean, like crumbs, the negative emotions that come. It's nothing new. Because I can remember when we first got married, like literally, month 1, month 2, feeling like I felt last night,
Right.
and so it's, I should have it figured out by now, but there's this interesting thing that like comes upon you, like, oh my gosh, my emotions are so raw and they're so, intense right now, but it's the same emotion that comes up. And I should have, like hindsight, makes me feel like I should have gotten there faster to communicate that. But, we always say this thing, we have the saying that you can become emotionally hijacked. And I think that that's what happened. I became emotionally hijacked. And when that happens, when that sets in, then, it's like word paralysis, forms. And like I get, for whatever reason, I'm not articulating myself the way I would like to, or expressing how I feel at that time. However, it's so funny because, it's super interesting, because maybe it's because I edit the video, so I get to rehear and re-engage with the conversations of Kisses and Crumbs. But there were things, there were skills or techniques that our couples have shared that flooded into my mind.
Like what?
Well, one of them was a future episode. So I don't really want to spoil it, but I did mention it today when we were having a discussion about honesty and let's see, you can be honest and you can be truthful. Okay. And that's what, remember, because when we were talking about it, I used that, and that was one of the techniques that I heard. But I think that's next week's episode. But I use that. So she goes into it like, or they go into it about like being truthful is like, oh, I'm just telling the truth. But honest is like the bigger picture of everything, a bigger, like a topographical look at the whole. That's it, right?
Yeah.
View of the whole situation versus just one little snippet of the truth, And so I think that it's always important to share the bigger picture of the honesty part of it, because anyway,
yeah, I think it's you're right. It's honesty, but it's also, I think other people have described it as transparency.
Right.
So you could the transparency is, I'm not only telling you the facts of it, and I'm not only telling you the truth, I'm telling you what motivated me to say that, the feelings I had around that, and all as much information
As
as I
much
can share
information.
with
Right.
you about what was going on at that time, so that you can get the whole picture and not just the picture I want you to have.
Right. And
Hmm.
so that was the concept that I drew from. And so but there I feel like there's other times, even since we've done this like in a month and in a week, I will pull certain things that our couples have shared, our community has
Yeah,
shared,
this has been a blessing for
and
us.
and implement it into our everyday life. I think the other one was um so last week with Aubrey and Lisa, um, Aubrey shared that in a relationship, whenever there's conflict, like someone has to jump on their grenade. Like when everything is blowing up,
Right,
whatever the
right.
situation is and how it blows up, well, someone has to jump on it and like recover the relationship, or recover the communication.
Hmm.
And so I've used that.
Right,
Like,
right.
okay, well,
Swallow your pride.
yeah, swallow
Swallow
your
your
pride.
pride,
She's
and
like, somebody's got to walk down the gauntlet,
right, right. And
in
I
order
think,
to maintain peace. Like I implemented that.
yeah, I'll be the
Um,
first to step forward and say I'm sorry, even though I may still, or may, not fully agree, or I still feel like I might be right, but I gotta be willing to come to the communication table, and that takes courage,
mhm.
you know.
It
Yeah,
does. I mean, to swallow that pride. I mean, I don't know where this fella named Pride came from.
I
Sound like an
know.
old woman. This fella
This
named
fella
Pride.
named Pride.
But anyway, we have chit chatted enough, and we need to give our
Yeah.
couple, Alicia and Renardo, who are your friends. Well,
Yes.
you went to
I
school.
went to the Air Force Academy with Renardo as well. We were both on the Air Force Academy Cadet Gospel Choir, and Renardo and I, as well as all the folks in the band and the choir, and we kind of stuck together and helped each other through the academy experience and so forth. So even after that, Renardo and I, as lieutenants, and we just kind of kept in touch, kept connecting, and kept supporting each other. So it's really, really wonderful to see him find someone as wonderful as Alicia, to kind of, for them to come together, and they have a beautiful family, and it's just,
I
yeah.
have to share one other thing about them. So believe it or not, I had the idea of wanting to do a marriage podcast, and I was
Mhm. Yes.
toying, with what the name would be and like the how it would look, all the things that go into a podcast. And their son attends college at the same school that our son goes to. So they were out here visiting because they don't live
Tuskegee.
at Tuskegee. To you.
You know.
And so they brought him out for his first year. And as they were leaving, because you have to travel through Alabama, or the school is in Alabama, but you have to travel through Atlanta. And we ended up having dinner with them one evening before they left to go back home after they dropped their son off. And we had dinner with them. We sat down, and Bobby was like, "Oh yeah," just in conversation, "Jalivia is going to start a podcast," and I was like, "Oh!" And so of course I lit up about talking about the structure and the premise of it and everything.
Mhm.
And Alicia was like, "Okay, when are we doing this?" And I was like, "Oh, okay. This is a challenge. This is she just told asked me, when I'm doing this." And so after that conversation, it literally lit the fire. My mom also said, "You better do it." But and if anybody's listened to our episode and our story, I do listen to my mom. Thank goodness I listened to my mom. But Alicia really encouraged me to do it, and so I want to say thank you, because it was really the fire that kind of ignited me moving forward to actually doing it. And
Mhm.
so, you know, something interesting that she talked about. So Alicia is a singer, and having a family and having kids, she kind of lost her way with singing, because she became a wife and a mother of four
4.
four kids, right? And so during that process, I mean, as women, we all know that it's so easy to get so involved in being a wife and a mother that you lose what you're passionate about. And so she shared that she lost that. And she's at the point now where she's redefining who she is in this chapter of her life.
Mhm.
And I can totally relate. And I think there was a comment here on Facebook that another woman was going through the same thing. And for me, I can relate, but with Kisses and Crumbs, I feel like it's a whole new chapter, a whole new calling, and something that God has asked us to do. And so we are enjoying this process.
Right.
And something else is it. So that was one concept that they talked about. I just roll right into it.
Yes.
Something else that they talked about was being married and being in a relationship that's healthy and being in a relationship that is something different than they've ever seen before. And so I really admire, the fact that we can talk about marriage and, not that it's just this fairy tale marriage, it takes work, it takes consistency, it
Mhm.
takes communication. One of her things was like communication, communication, communication. And
Right.
why do we need to communicate so much? Why do I need to hear that? And obviously, with us this week, it was an issue of communicating, and and how well do you communicate? We are hearing some static, and
Yeah, we're getting a
and
little
what
bit
I
of
think it
feedback.
is like whenever we put our phones near the
Right.
I think that's when I hear it most. But anyway, so let's hear some of your uh, uh, takeaways or things that really impacted you in
Yeah. So one of the things that I do appreciate about their relationship is the communication, is the fact that it based on our discussions at dinner as well as in the podcast, when they have a challenge, they recognize each other's humanity. They recognize the fact that this is something that makes that person mad, or upset, and uh, I believe that they give each other the space to express that, and they don't make them wrong for having that feeling.
mm,
And I think that was the aha for me this week was, if someone is overly upset, or if someone is feeling that sense of, panic or chaos or whatever you call it, or angst, they're allowed to feel that. It's okay. They can feel that in the confines of that. Now, how they behave based on that feeling is what will determine whether it is within the structure of the marriage that you all have set up, within the rules of how you all communicate. And if it's out of bounds based on the rules, then that's when you can say, "Hey, hold on now. Remember, we agreed to X, Y, and Z," and that's perfectly okay. So I felt like in terms of the skills of communicating, they recognize each other's humanity, and they still give each other a safe place, a soft place to land. So I thought that was really great. One particular example was when Renardo expressed that he got, a little frustrated at people in his house and their house coming, opening the cabinets and just kind of leaving things, drawers open, leaving cabinet doors open. And so at one time he said, "I've had it," and so he comes in and he just opens every door and every cabinet in the kitchen, and people come in and they're like, "What is all these cabinets doing open?"
that's something
Uh,
you would do. That's why you think it's
as a
funny.
but essentially, I mean, whether you think it's right or wrong, or whether you think, he was doing it out of, let me get their attention, or if he just was frustrated and just had it, and was doing it out of spite, whatever you think, it brought them to the table. It brought them to the communication table, and they had the skills to go from that point and begin to talk about, okay, why does this frustrate you? What's the challenges here? What is the expectation that's not being met, and how do we resolve that? And so, some people might think that's a little drastic.
I think it's funny. I can.
Oh,
I
but
think
they also said, yep,
that's something that they can laugh
they
about
also
now.
right, and they also highlighted that humor is important
Yes.
in their relationship.
Well, and what I love is early on in the episode, they talked about how they met. So if y'all haven't watched the episode, you really should. It's season 1, episode 9, Alicia and Renardo. But when they first met, she was moving to the city, and so she was new, and he was there, and he was in the choir, or he was the pianist in the choir, or for the choir, and she was a singer. And so they were kind of friends. Her mother said, I think this guy is really nice, and she's like, okay, well, I'll date him for you. Like, I'll go out on a date with him for you. And so as they began to hang out a little bit more, she was like, okay, he's nice. Mm-hmm. She didn't feel like he came with preconceived notions or expectations or anything like that. It was just purely a friendship. Mm-hmm. Now, he liked her more, from hearing their story. He liked her more, but he understood and respected her boundary of, like, I'm not ready to have anything more yet. And so things, they just remained friends. Although her mother was like, okay, I hope you marry my daughter someday. And he was like, okay, sure, whatever.
I love that. I love that part of the story when she was like, I hope one day you come back and marry my daughter. He was like, oh yeah, great. He was like, okay, thank you. And he took off in his car going to his next assignment, his next base. So that was, I mean, I can just imagine that. That's like a sitcom moment where he's like, okay, thank you.
And then so over time, they just kind of remained friends. And then at one point, she was like, I'm going to call him, because everyone that I'm dating, he ain't it. They not it, and so she remembered their friendship. And I mean, it was their friendship was I guess I can relate to it, because they like to go to museums, and they would be on a road trip, and she would be talking, and she'd be like, girl, and then it's like, oh, like,
I know, right?
I'm not talking to my girl.
I'm so comfortable.
And I totally can relate. I know I can relate to that, because I would be like, a girl in a minute. And
and I want to say something for those folks that are looking for someone to connect with and to build a life or relationship with. That is one of the things. Like, you won't hear us on this live say, okay, here are the 10 steps to how to find a mate, and all that type. Oh, we may do that later. But anyway, I think the biggest thing to remember is someone who wants to be with you just for the sake of being with you. Your personality, the way that you walk, the way that you hold your hands and hold your head, the way that you connect with them, your mannerisms, your jokes, it's like they love that part of you. They love your work ethic. They love your character. They love that you have a drive, or that you're laid back and you don't have a drive, and they can rest when they're in your presence. So whatever it is, you have to find that part and fall in love with that person, because you're going to be spending a lot of time together. You have to like that person. That is really important.
And you really could, spend time on an amazing vacation, but then think about the times where nothing is happening at all, and how you enjoy spending time with that person. Mm-hmm. I think that a lot of times when we're working, I could sit next to you and just work, and that's cool for me. just being, close to you and being in your presence, I enjoy that. And sometimes I'm like, oh, you're not gonna sit here and work with me.
Right.
Like, I'll catch a little attitude. But
And
that's
you know
kind of
what? I like seeing your smile. I like making you smile. And I think that it's kind of like whenever I can give you that, that feels good to me. And this kind of goes back to some of the concepts we're talking about in the book that we're writing is
the what?
the book that we're writing.
Oh, y'all heard it. Y'all heard it. I heard it, but yeah, y'all heard it too, right? Okay.
Yes, the book that because it's about the quality of your giving in the relationship. And so if I can give you a smile, put a smile on your face, then I've enhanced the quality of your life. And so that's what I love. I love to see you smile. So that motivates me.
Yes, thank you. I like to smile. I like to have things to smile about because we know that this is life. Just life can be hard. So, so anyway, other concepts that we want to get out because I know that we're coming upon our 30 minutes and there is a lot of, man, y'all, I promise you that this episode is so good. It's really, I mean, I laughed, I could relate. And it's just a fantastic. One thing that I really, a good takeaway is like before, you get married and even in every season, communicate what your expectations are. If you don't communicate what your expectations are going forward, then you're setting yourself up for disappointment, but if you clearly communicate like, hey, this is what I see. This is what I need. This is what makes me happy. This is what makes me tick. And if you don't communicate those expectations, then how are you ever gonna achieve them? It's just not gonna poof and it's done. And I think that in the very beginning to clearly communicate those because you have to agree that you're going to meet those expectations, or if you're like, those are expectations that I'm not going to be able to meet, then you have to talk about it. But I think as the decades go on, we're in our second decade. It has changed.
Third.
Are we? Oh, we are. We're going into that. We're not there yet, but we are.
Yes, we are.
We're going into it.
We're married for 25 years, but we've known each other
for
29.
You're right. We're
going into our fourth decade.
Jeez, thank you.
Just saying.
Well, and see, you know what?
See, math.
That's give me science, give me social studies. But anyway, yes. So expectations, clearly communicate your expectations. And what else?
Let's see.
I mean, this is, for the people who have been married for a while, coming to an agreement on how you're going to parent is essential to communicate as well. And that's a really deep conversation. It really requires more than just the time that we have. They shared a story about one of their children was flicking on and off a light. And one of the, Alicia wanted to handle it one way and Renardo needed to handle another. And they didn't develop the skill where, what they both said or what one said, the other one would really back up the parent in that. And so that is a process that you have to navigate and you have to learn how to be on one accord. Because if you're not, the kids will sense it and they will they will take advantage of that. So that's something that they had to learn early on.
Yeah, and I agree with that, and I also think that processing that example showed that they realized, okay, we have to have unity in how we raise them, and I think unity is really, really key. And I'll quote Miles Monroe, the late great Miles Monroe, and he said, "If you don't know the purpose of a thing, abuse is inevitable." And so I think the purpose for having children the couple or the parents need to come together and really agree on, well, why are we having children? Why are we bringing these folks into the world? Is it just because it happened?
They
Or
cute, because they cute.
because they cute? Or do we have do we want to carry on our legacy? Is that one of the reasons? Is it because we want people to love? Is it because we want achievers? Do we want a basketball team? Or do we want a group of people to invent something great? Or even think of what is the purpose of us becoming parents? And then when you unify around that purpose, then you can begin to structure how you're going to raise them. Are they going to be, overly focused on, religion and structure? Or are they going to be loose and creative and exploring different things so that they can unlock different areas of creativity? So understanding that, I think, is important. What is your purpose for having children, and what path do you want to set them on? And then as the parents come together, then that will present a unified approach towards that. So yeah, that was my thoughts.
Okay. Well, guess what?
We did it.
We did it. We did our first live
on YouTube.
And so
did you enjoy it?
I did. I did. I would like to have our community. So
Oh yeah, that's right.
So we will invite you to join us each week on YouTube, and we will post this on our Facebook Kisses N Crumbs page. So make sure you like.
We didn't talk about community.
Oh,
let me just real quick. Renardo and Alicia talked about having a community of other married couples that they meet with, and they empathize with each other. They understand what they're going through. They offer advice and support to one another.
And that's been huge for them.
Yes, that's been huge for them. And that's something that in our long-term dreams and goals for Kisses N Crumbs, we want to begin to establish as well. So this is kind of the start of that process, is having a podcast and getting people to comment, like, subscribe, and come together. And then we will do some other things to create that sense of connection and community amongst those people that
like-minded people.
Yes, that want to see successful marriages thrive and healthy marriages.
So with that, hey, if you have not checked out the episodes, we are on episode 9. And next week we are on double digits. Oh my goodness.
10.
Episode 10. And that is a phenomenal episode. We get to interview Nicole and Maurice.
Mm-hmm.
Or Mo.
Game changer. Game changer.
Wonderful. Such a wonderful story. And, when I say story, it just doesn't seem real, but it's like a real life of a couple that has figured out some things that I feel will bless you and bless your marriage. So stay tuned. Again, we're going to post this on Facebook, and it's going to be here on YouTube for you to like, comment, subscribe, and tell everybody you know. We're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify, and all the episodes are already here on YouTube. So we will be back next week. Thank you so much for still getting calls and comments and, just community of people rallying behind Kisses N Crumbs. So we thank you, and we're appreciative.
Yes, we're very appreciative and grateful.
And all right. See you next week.
Until next time. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
How do we end it? I don't know how to stop it.
I think the live button up there.
Okay. End stream. There we go.
Yeah.
End.